The talk of the rugby league world for the last 48 hours is Kalyn Ponga making himself unavailable for selection for Australia. Mal, when did you first hear about Kalyn's unavailability?
Just through the press release, unfortunately, So, that's the first I think anyone knew about it, to be honest with you. And I'm assuming it include the Newcastle club as well. So I think this was done independently. So that's my read on it all. I have spoken to Kalyn in confidence, so that conversation will stay private, and it's just unfortunate that I think, the thing that comes out of this for me is about the process of, Kalyn obviously and his advisors understanding, the protocols around making himself unavailable for whatever reason. And then obviously, the process around how that gets released into the public domain as well. So obviously that has to be cleared up into the future, and to ensure that we don't have this sort of mess going on in the public eye at the moment.
Something happened within the space of 4 days, because on Saturday on the Mowers Club on this network, Justin Horro asked Kalyn Ponga this.
Are you fit and available to go if Mel was to give you that call, mate?
Yeah. Pulled up sweet from the game. Coming back from my injury, I've had no niggles or anything, back after the season, so that was good. But yeah, no, I'm fit, fighting. I wouldn't say I'm probably too fit right now, but I'm fit. I'm fit and able.
Something changed in 4 days, Mel. Do you have any thoughts on what it might be?
No idea. I mean, yes, I do. He wants to devote more time, to his preparation for club success next year. So, I mean, his input into that, obviously, he's got a feeling that he hasn't played that many games in recent years, and he's got an obligation back to the club, which I think everyone understands all that. That's not. I don't think that's everyone's going to dispute that at all. I think that's a reasonable excuse. But, obviously I've got a different view, when it comes to the rep scene. My view is, I would never turn down an opportunity to play for your country, So, but, in that case, I know that we talked to the club, I think even on Monday, about availability as well. And, the club didn't come back to us and with anything other than he was available. So
you spoke to the Newcastle Knights on Monday? And
No, I didn't speak. No, so my people did.
Right. Right.
But I'm not going. It's not an investigative journalism here, Jimmy. So we spoke to the club and we knew that he was available. He was available from Monday. But just obviously what's transpired in the last couple of days has created a bit of havoc amongst the rugby league fraternity.
Oh, well, I can't ask that question, or that question. But anyway.
Investigative journalism, mate. This is Throwdown with Mal. It's not
that's
about
right, that's right.
And in the witness box, and I've got to defend myself, bloody hell, what's going on?
I'll tell you what I'm not asking you to do, Mal, is defend yourself, right? Because I think you've gone on the record, right? And I'll ask you this directly. Do you think winning a premiership for the Canberra Raiders and playing for Australia were mutually exclusive events? That is, for one to happen, the other one can't.
Well, I think it's mutually inclusive. Because we all want to win premierships. We all want to play our best footy for our club and win premierships. But that's obviously reward and recognition for playing for your mates. But the reward and recognition playing for your country, and obviously for your state, is that you're one of the best players in your position at that particular time. And I know from my own experiences that what's on my wall is the Australian jersey.
Yeah.
What's on my wall is is a personal achievement, and playing for your country is the ultimate personal accolade and privilege you can get. But I'm not. It's mutually, like I said, mutually inclusive. I'm not saying that playing in the grand final is any less. I think that's great too, and I think winning an Origin series is just as great too, because everyone's got these dreams. They want to dream. They want to play in the NRL. They want to win premierships. They got a dream. They want to play for their state and country. So that's the way I grew up, and I guess and I achieved all that, and I had mutual success.
Yes.
with all that.
Yes.
Because and the thing about I mean, I learn every part of the way. It enables me to be where I am today too. So it's part of the journey that I went on. So it's part of learning more, take back the clubs from representative football, getting to learn more from the players from other clubs and what they do from a preparation point of view, and
Yep.
getting talking to them. So it's just it's a rugby league community, and that's where kangaroo reunions and origin reunions and club reunions come from. It comes from your past, and you're part of your past. You put that jersey on, regardless of who you play for. You put that jersey on, you had a lot of success, or you made great friends, and there's all these things. There's the reason why you play sport at the highest level, professionally in particular, is that it derives so much fun and inclusiveness. So they're all mutually inclusive, mate, in my mind.
Do you think Kalen Ponga wants to play mostly for the Kangaroos, the Kiwis, or the All Blacks, Mel?
I ask him that question, Jimmy. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I think he wants. I think he wants to play for his country. Just at the moment, he feels that that's not on his agenda, and that's he made a decision he wants just to devote and repay, I guess, the Knights and how they've stuck by him as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair excuse. To be honest with you. So I feel that it's the process we need to improve. We need to get better communication out of the clubs and the players, and I think and vice versa. So I just think that process needs to improve, and this is a catalyst for that, to allow that to happen.
You've named a squad that's come out today that we'll get to very shortly. In previous years, there's been squads that have been named as teams were eliminated from the competition. So end of regular season, end of first week. Is there a particular reason that wasn't done this time? And could this issue with Kalen Ponga have been avoided if that was the case?
No, it's not. I mean, we're only into week 3,
Yeah.
Of the finals. And normally in this case, we're picking PM's teams, and we're going up to Papua New Guinea, so everyone's aware of what's happening. But the clubs are aware of who's under consideration, and this happened last week. So we picked the sides last week, and from then on, clubs have been aware of player availability. It hasn't even been 2 weeks after their end of season for the ones that finished, 9th downwards. So again, it's the process needs to improve. Be a bit more coordinated. It's been a little bit different this year, Jimmy, only because of the PMs going to after the grand final. So it's been a bit more difficult.
Yep.
To do all that because it hasn't been a really good flow of information for us. So but we're dealing with that. So but I mean, it's something that we all have to sit down and just make sure it will probably take about an hour discussion, and with that hour discussion we'll have really good due process, and everyone will understand what's required.
Does this bring into sharper focus? And it's something that I used to speak with Michael Maguire about when he was the Kiwis coach last year on this program, about eligibility and what it means for Tier 1 and Tier 2 nations and state of origin availability as well, Mal?
Yeah. No, it is. It is a bigger conversation around that component of it all, not so much around who's available, from a Kangaroos point of view, but sort of nationally,
Yes.
Definitely. It's eligibility. It's we have to clear that up as well. We all know that the Pacific nations are getting stronger. There's more representation of Pacific Islanders, both men and women, in our competition, in the NRL competition, and in England as well. There's a difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2. We don't actively go out, and we can't actively go out, well, from a Kangaroos point and recruit, because we can't make any promises. But where the Pacific nations are concerned, because they're Tier 2, they can have players, playing in representative football like Origin, and then they can actually recruit those guys into their national teams, which I have had no no concerns with at all over the last few years. But it's getting to a stage now, in my opinion, and it'll happen down the track where there'll be more Pacific Islanders playing in our competition, and then we pick the Kangaroos, and as Madge with the Kiwis, they've got multiple heritage.
Yes.
Now, we've got multiple heritage.
Yep.
As being Australia, because we're such a diverse, multicultural nation, we're going to have to clear it up. And I just think we get rid of the tiers and just have players, because there's equity. If you play for your country anyway, when you talk about payments, we talk about financial reward. There is equity already. Men's and women's teams get all paid the same money, so there's no incentives, to play for anyone really, except where your heart lies.
Yeah,
and that's where we need to get to. And then players make that decision right at the beginning of their careers. We all move forward. We all understand who you want to play for. I think that's the easiest way around it all. But that still doesn't take away from where you're born. I think where you're born becomes the catalyst, I think, for who you play for, where you play Queensland or New South Wales.
Yeah. The difference around that, though, is if you make yourself available for Samoa, you can still play Origin and earn $90,000. But if you make yourself available for the Kiwis, you're excluded. Or Victor Radley, England, you're excluded.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Peter V'landys. Sorry, mate. Peter V'landys has come out very strongly talking about how sacrosanct, I think that was the exact word that he used, the Australian jersey used. Do you anticipate sanctions for Kalen Ponga?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know if the Knights are at fault here, to be honest with you, Jimmy. So, so I think there's more investigation to be had. Like I said, right from the beginning, there needs to be a stronger process and more awareness around that process for everyone in the game, but how you do what Kalen did, So, and there's got to be some conversations around relevant people, to make those decisions. We make those decisions more clear, and so if a player does want to make a decision like that, they're more aware of the circumstance. Because at the moment, mate, through the license agreements, every club's got to make their player available for representative duty. Yes. Unless they're injured, or there's some other reason, So that's the facts. It's not about you're too tired or fatigued. Which I fully understand, to be honest with you. I mean, it's such a toll on players throughout the year, and they've got to get through their domestic season, and all the great ones, all the good ones are playing rep footy, and all playing, for their clubs in finals as well. So it's a tough year. Then they're asked to play internationally, and we do our damnedest, Jimmy, to cater for that fatigue, that mental and physical, fatigue, and but it is a long year. I guess that's going to be addressed over the ensuing years with as the competition grows. The 20 teams has been talk about, 19 games. That takes 6 weeks. Off the domestic season, you have a really strong final series, and you have a really strong international program. So all those sort of things need to be addressed into the future. But I feel sorry for the players in a way, because of if we ring up clubs, after the season and to look at what their availability is like, and there's not one player that's not carrying some sort of injury. There's not one player that's got that needs to recover or needs some sort of rehab to get over the toughness of the year, So it is a tough competition. It's a tough sport, and obviously it's played by tough men and women.
So I'm just looking at that. When you start talking about it from that point of view, I'm looking at 2022. All right, you talk about the players that need the break. I'm looking at the players who haven't had the break, and I'm looking at Isaiah Yeo, and he's played 24 games this year for Penrith, which means he's missed one outside of his buys. He's played 3 Origins. He played 3 Test matches for Australia last year. He played 5 Test matches for Australia in the World Cup the year before, played 3 Origins that year, and they go through to the grand final every year.
Yeah, that's what they get paid well, and everyone everyone uses that excuse to get paid well, but
so they should.
We know the toll it has on your body, and it's not just your body; it's your mental fatigue as well, and then having to deal with other things in life as well. So I mean, I'm not offering any excuses, but I'm also very aware of the fact that, all players put their body and minds, through a tough year. So again, that's no excuse. If you're fit and healthy to play rep footy. I believe that you should make yourself available.
0457 736 736. Lots of people asking questions already. We'll get to them very shortly. Get us on the open line as well, 1300 01 1170. This one from the Bega Magpie, Mal, would play anytime and anywhere barefoot on a gravel road in the pouring rain using a house brick for a ball if it meant donning the green and gold. That's from the Bega Magpie.
Man, in an Olympic year too, just quietly. I watch the Olympics and the Paralympics, and it just fills me with, great honour and prestige, So we watch those athletes go about their business. They're representing their country and they're so proud and they speak so highly of it. And it's a journey. And those guys, they've got to do this. They're training. They've obviously got world champs and other competitions, but they've got to wait for 4 years, just to represent their country in the Olympics, which is probably the greatest sporting event we have, on our calendar. So, just off to all that, so it makes you proud. Like I said, for me personally, the thing that sits on my mantelpiece, mate, is my Australian jersey. And all the success. It's getting your first national jersey. There's no better thrill.
Yeah. Which one, just out of interest? Which Kangaroos jersey? You won a lot of them.
Well, the first one.
The first one, right?
The first one. Yeah, the first one. So that was at Lang Park.
Yeah.
1982 against the Kiwis. I was on the bench. That was my first game. So I got that jersey, and then I managed to sneak into the team in game 2 at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And I lasted 20 minutes. I dislocated my elbow in my first ever run-on game.
Oh, wow.
So, but then obviously from there I went in. I was lucky enough to be selected in the 82 touring team and played all the test matches, which is a big thrill for me. But and that's it's when you grow up, that's what you aspire to. I know it's different these days. I know things have changed with attitudes because the Origin is such a big beast, and everyone aspires to play an Origin and. No, it's not money. It's not money motivated. Honestly, we talk about 30,000 a game, but to put that your state jersey on and battle it out in probably is the greatest competitive game that you can play in our sport is a big thrill. It's a great thrill.
Yeah.
But then where I'm trying to take the game to is that tournament, that contest, Origin contest. Should be a stepping stone into the national programs. And I would suggest that all those players that have played in that Origin series will be playing for an international team, whether it be the Kangaroos or the tier 2 teams. Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Papua New Guinea. We don't know. So it's that's where we want the international program to go to. We want that green and gold jersey valued. And I thought we had it, Jimmy. I thought we had it.
Yeah. 1300 01 1170. Throwdown with Mal Meninga, all thanks to Jamala Wildlife Lodge in Canberra and, of course, Chemist Warehouse. Remember, shop the half-price vitamin sale now at Chemist Warehouse.